Bettor Sports Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on a football Friday. Got Howard Bender with me as we do every Friday, talking some NFL betting picks for Sunday's games. Appreciate everyone jumping in here, whether you're watching on Fantasy Alarm or Bettor Sports Betting, Bettor Sports Network YouTubes. Jump in the chat. If you haven't, seen on this show on Fridays, we welcome all of your own bets, player props, touchdown predictions, parlays that you got going. Throw them in the chat here because we're trying to cash on some of your picks too, because not all of ours are cashing every day. So we want you guys to throw out your own picks too, because there's things we overlook that we miss. Howard, how you doing, man?
Either Smokey the Cat lends us his parlay assistance, or I'm going to have to sell a kidney on the dark web somewhere. Okay, so
I'd rather do the first option. Speaking of winning picks and all that, last week, we had some winners, we had some losers, but we did cash on a few huge bets of ours. So let's look back at a little recap of last week.
Ooh.
I'll go with the Colts. -1.5 is the spread, but I'm just going with the money line. I'm taking the Lions -2.5. It's at -3, but I'm buying the 0.5 point just to get the 2.5 because I think it could be a field goal win.
Steelers at home giving up the field goal. I'm okay with that. Well, I mean, listen, I have the Commanders at +6.5. I got that for -110 on BetMGM, so I feel good about that.
All right, I'll go with Josh Jacobs against your Jets, Howard, but give me his over rushing yards here, over 67.5 rushing yards.
Brandon Powell, over 24.5 receiving yards, got -110 at BetMGM. Will Levis, over 30.5 pass attempts. It's at +100 on BetMGM. Kazir White, I'm going to say over 8.5 tackles and assists. It's +110 at BetMGM.
Look at that. Awesome stuff from our production crew over at Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm, the team there for putting that together because, we got some winners that we hand out on this show from now and again. So it was a pretty solid week for us last week, Howard. The Commanders pick kind of hurts me still, because I had the Seahawks in that game. Gave out, paid due on the bet on Wednesday. Our producer today, Sean Engel, he's the guy that threw out that bet, that idea for doing some push-ups if I lost. So, paid due. He told me before we started that he tuned in just to check out if I could do 10 push-ups, which I did.
Listen, I was amazed. There's zero chance I would have been able to do 10 push-ups, but I didn't have to make bird wings, which was super cool. I gotta tell you, man, I'm like looking at that. I'm not normally like a vain person, but geez, man, I shouldn't be wearing my glasses on these live streams. You got the glare coming in, they make it look like giant Coke bottles, man. I look like Harry Carey or something like that in those things.
Oh yeah, I gotta shave more often because I was looking a little scruffy there. That was after a week of being sick though, so I'll take a pass on that.
Well, you learn as you're married and you get older that you keep that scruff going there because it starts to hide the double chins that when you settle into like 10 years of marriage.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not trying to attract anybody anymore. So whatever.
Right, go. I'm gonna let myself go, man.
All right, let's dive into Sunday's slate here. Had a interesting Thursday night football last night with obviously you've heard the news of Joe Burrow now out for the season. Mark Andrews hurting his leg and his ankle, likely done for the year. So let's not delve too much into reliving that. That's for another day. But let's get into the Week 11 Sunday slate. where are you going with one of your picks?
All right. Well, I will say this about the whole Joe Burrow. Like, listen, it sunk everybody, and this kind of stuff happens. Like, I was talking to people, and they were like, "Oh, well, man, do I, my props from last night didn't hit." Dude, the whole dynamic of the game changed with Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews getting hurt. So, you got to just, you got to toss that one. Yeah. Like you said, Servo, right out the window. So where am I going?
Real quick on that, by the way, I gave out Bengals plus 3.5 yesterday in the show. If I knew Joe Burrow had this wrist injury, I would not have bet that. I mean,
yeah, dude, I put out a whole article that was like, Bengals plus the points, give me the over. I had Jamar Chase over receiving yards. The whole dynamic, Mark Andrews over receiving yards. Like the whole dynamic of that game changed. You can never, ever, ever like blame yourself or change your process, because that just blows everything up, changes the whole dynamic. Blame the beat writers. I'm not going to go off on it right now. Blame the beat writers for not chasing down that story, because that story with a video of them that Bengals media took down and then put back, and hid from everybody, whatever, that had the wrist guard on it. Like, where were the beat writers like fishing for that story? Who travels with the team? Why didn't we get a report on that? We saw it and they took it down, and everybody made like a stink out of it on Twitter, like it was like conspiracy theory type stuff. So where were the beat writers? Where was the reporting? Where are the Bengals properly reporting? That's a huge issue, especially for the betting community. If you're not going to report your injuries properly, I mean, that's trillions of dollars that you are putting at stake. And the NFL is running a very, very big risk. Yeah. Like, I guarantee you there's going to be sanctions against the Bengals, like major sanctions for this. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, they're apparently investigating, the non-reporting of Burrow's injury. Not even, questionable on the injury report or anything. So
nothing. Yeah, there was nothing. There was no reports of it whatsoever. Yeah. And that, like, one of the big things is that beat writers don't want to be kicked out of the locker room. And that's what happens, is that the coaches, don't want the beat writers telling the full story, because it tips the hand to, the opposition. Yeah. Like, Kyle Shanahan did it a couple of years ago. He told the beat writers not to write about JaMychal Hasty at all, because he wanted to unleash him as a secret weapon on Sunday. And all of a sudden the fantasy community was like, geez, where the hell was everybody here? This dude just got 21 touches. Nobody mentioned this dude. And then a beat writer came out a little later, a couple weeks later, and she said that Kyle Shanahan specifically said not to write about JaMychal Hasty. She was tired of getting destroyed by people being like, do your job, kind of thing. So she broke, and that was it. And, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, listen, that kind of, injury reporting and the betting industry, if this marriage is going to continue, there needs to be a lot more transparency here.
Uncle Ted throwing in the chat here on YouTube, saying Bijan all over again. If this is similar to what happened with Bijan Robinson, Arthur Smith, nothing came out about how he might, how he was hurt, how he might not get as much work. And people who played him in fantasy, people who bet on his props. I mean, costs, and the NFL looked into that. Did anything come of that?
Oh, no, they sweep everything under the rug.
Yeah.
Everything gets swept under the rug. Like, they'll find out. We'll find out more about that, once they start diving into the Joe Burrow, because now it's the second time, and it's a high-profile thing with Joe Burrow, and it's on primetime game. That's a huge, 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 huge thing. So this is going to be a very, very messy situation, I think, that the NFL is not going to be able to sweep under the rug.
By the way, Uncle Ted also throw it on the chat here. And again, throw your own bets, your own comments here on the chat as we go through this show. He's got Rico Dowdle time. He says Carolina will get destroyed by the boys, and we'll have a lot of mop-up time for Uncle Rico. I like this call because, I thought about throwing out a touchdown prop again for Tony Pollard because of this. The Panthers' rush defense is getting crushed on the ground, and especially – rushing touchdowns allowed this year. But it might be time to consider Rico Dowdle. He scored last week, and I'm looking at BetMGM plus 375. Anytime touchdown scorer this year. You're looking at his his rushing props, his rushing yards is at
26 and a half.
That's low if you think he could get those, carries in the second half if the Cowboys are leading. So I don't hate that at all, Uncle Ted. I considered throwing a couple props out for Dowdle for that exact reason, honestly. So
I like Mulroyd's 10-plus reception CD Lamb kind of a situation there. I like that more. I have whatever. I'm trying not to let my anti-Cowboys biases come into play here. But, I'll say this. This could be a game that Dallas is looking past. Carolina's not good. Yeah. It's a road game for them. And they go into a short week against Washington, who's a division rival, on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like that's the big stage thing for Dallas. So I do worry that maybe this game isn't as big of a blowout as everybody's kind of assuming it's going to be. Like that's one thing that worries me. We've seen Dallas play down to their competition before. Arizona, remember the Arizona game?
I remember that one, yeah.
Does this not have little feeling of that Arizona game for Dallas?
It definitely does. And similar situation because that was week 2, right, against Arizona.
Week
2 or week 3, but it was right after they crushed the Giants, which they did last week. So yeah, maybe a little letdown, little look ahead. So it could be a lot of CD Lamb getting
week 3. They beat the Giants and then beat the Jets and pummeled both of us. Outscored us 70-10 in those 2 games.
Yeah, his CD Lamb's reception prop on BetMGM 6.5. But yeah, if you want to look at his alt receptions to Mulroyd saying 10+, yeah, can see that happening. All right, let's get to our picks here.
I'm sorry, you asked me before. Cardinals, give me Cardinals plus 5.5 against Houston. I love this game. I love the vibe of this game. I love the offenses in this game. The Texans defense a little bit better, but I mean, unstoppable. No, you can run on the Texans, and James Conner's back, and Kyler Murray brings a whole new dynamic to it. I'm perfectly fine with the Texans winning this game. I don't care, but give me the Cardinals plus 5.5. I think this comes down to the wire at the end.
Yeah, we got in the chat here, Anime Dude. In that same game, saying he likes, I think he likes Tank Dell and CJ Stroud, maybe anytime touchdown scorers in this. I might have a little Tank Dell love coming up later in the show, so stay tuned for that.
I'm more low key in on Robert Woods.
Oh, well, we'll have to talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
All right, I'll go with give me the Dolphins minus 13.5 here. We talked about this on Wednesday's show, giving some little early leans, and I'm locking this one in. We just talked about how Dallas could be a little look ahead as double-digit favorites. Maybe won't cover that, but I think Dolphins are covering this. They're coming off the bye week. I think they're going to be poised to just get a big win, get back on track after their last game was in Germany, that loss to Kansas City. They're back at home now. They are 4-0 against the spread at home this year. They've covered as home favorites every time. It includes 2 times as double-digit favorites too, that they've covered and won by multiple touchdowns, covering 13 and 14-point spreads. That's what they have here against the Raiders team that I just see some regression going back to just being a mediocre team that they were before. I know they 2 straight wins since the coaching change with Antonio Pierce there, but those wins came against the Giants and the Jets. And this is just a big step up in competition, opponent. Now on the road at Miami, we talked about on Wednesday, maybe a little Miami flu going through the locker room on Sunday morning. We'll see. But I just think in general, I just see the Dolphins winning this handedly. Raiders' rush defense is still like one of the league's worst this year, very beatable, which is bad news against Miami's run game. Getting A-Chain back likely. That 1-2 punch with him and Mostert is going to be just tearing up this defense, I think. And Jalen Ramsey, back from injury before the bye week, another week to get healthy. We talked about how he might be shadowing Devontae Adams. I think that would be smart for the Dolphins defense and just force others to beat them. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a comfortable win here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, we talked about this game on Wednesday when we were doing our leans for the week, and we both had this identified for the exact same reason. So, yeah, I think it's a great pick there, 100%. My next pick is I think this is more on principle than anything else, but believe it or not, I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm going to lay the 2.5 points. I'm not sure I want to lay this bet right now. I might want to lay this bet when we get into like Saturday, when we start hearing like some late reports as to whether or not Justin Jefferson is really going to play. Because if there's a possibility that this line goes down a little bit, I'm in on the Broncos. I said this last week when Joshua Dobbs, which I absolutely love what he's doing, but now there's immense hype right now. It's crazy. It's like, all of a sudden when you start talking about, this team's going to do this and they're going to challenge the Detroit Lions for the division now. And, and they're not dead. And, Cousins is gone, but Dobbs is saving the way and Jefferson's coming back. And there's all sorts of crazy hype in about Minnesota. I blindly said on Twitter that I would just I'm taking Denver and the points, whatever they give me next week. And funny enough, Denver has now been like a little bit more hyped up also because they've improved. And it turns out that Denver's the favorite in this one. I think Vegas has this right. I will take Denver. I will lay the 2.5 points. But I'll hope that maybe Justin Jefferson, announces or something gets announced on Saturday that maybe he's back. Maybe this drops down to 2. Maybe I then buy it down to 1.5, something like that. You might want to just take a look at, but I'm still going Broncos here.
Even the money line for the Broncos only -135 on BetMGM. Like if you just want to not worry about the point spread, that's an interesting way to go too.
Yeah,
I'm with you though. I think this is Denver. Both teams coming in on that win streak, but I buy into Denver's win streak more. I trust them more in this game, especially at home, because as bad as Russell Wilson was last year and earlier this year, it's still Russell Wilson against Josh Dobbs. I mean,
yeah, these guys have been playing with each other. The Broncos have been playing with each other all season long. Dobbs is like just he was just dropped in. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, just the setup there, for Denver, the continuity, with Dobbs in Minnesota, you're going to see up and down probably. Well, here we go.
I love this pick. Yeah, I love it. I'm going to go with the under in Steelers Browns. This is also a game we talked about on Wednesday. It dropped down to 33 with the news that Deshaun Watson's out for the year. We got Dorian Thompson-Robinson under center, but I am not scared of the low total. I think it's low for a reason, and I don't see many points being scored at all in this one. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, like when he's one game this year when he was with as the starter for the Browns early this year. They scored 3 points, 166 total yards in that game. I don't think it's not like he's changed since then. The Browns, news of them looking at Joe Flacco, they're working out Joe Flacco now. Like they are, I don't think they're trusting Thompson-Robinson right now. And the Steelers defense, they're not like, a dominant defense this year, but this is still a veteran unit, veteran coach and Mike Tomlin. I think they're going to have a really good game plan to just frustrate Thompson-Robinson, probably force a couple turnovers in this one. It's just a tough matchup for, rookie quarterback in Thompson-Robinson here. And the Steelers on the other side, I mean, their offense is still inconsistent. Kenny Pickett still just, not showing up every quarter, every game. So I don't trust him to score much in this offense, to score much against the solid Browns defense that's, frustrated and been good against mediocre offenses this year. Steelers are 7-2 to the under this year too. 3-0 to the under on the road this season as well. So yeah, give me the under here. It's low for a reason, and I think this is going to be like a 15-10 game or something like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody's like making jokes, being like, "Yeah, it's gonna be like 10-6 or something like that." I'm like, people. It's so funny too when you watch somebody who has the under and they watch the first half of a game, and it's like, like 14-10, and they're like, oh no. And then the second half happens, and like they trade field goals, and nothing else happens in the game. It's like, relax. Like that's what this type of a game is like. I was thinking, it could be like 20-10. 20-13 is obviously what Vegas is kind of showing here, because the spread is like it's a 7. Isn't it a 7-point spread? What's the spread in this one?
No, it's like a pick 'em basically.
Is it a pick 'em now?
Yeah, the Browns were favored, but I think it's like down to maybe they're -1 now. Maybe it's like more of a pick 'em.
The
Steelers are not.
Oh yeah, it is a 1-point game. Yeah, all right, there you go. I don't know. It's going to be a crap game. I like Mulroyd's comment here. The Pitt defense, anytime touchdown might be something to sprinkle a little something on.
Oh, yeah. The fumble recovery touchdown by Watt.
Right, here it comes. Where is that? Do we see that? Find me that. Find me the odds on that one, baby.
I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. You can go in your next pick. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I'll go with this next pick. This puts you and I at odds again, Servo. And here we go. I got the Commanders. I'm coming at you again with the Commanders. I did this to you against you with the Seahawks. I'm coming at you with the Commanders against the Giants. I got this one here at Commanders -9.5. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Listen, I got it down. It's 9.5. I think the spread is, but I'm like paying a little bit extra to get the 10.
That's fine. That's fine. I want to implore our illustrious producer Sean Engel to please come up with another wager between me and Servo here.
I'll do 10 more push-ups. I can bang them out.
Is that like the theme though? I mean, I guess no. See, that's the thing. It's got to be like you're in favor of the Giants now. You got to like paint yourself like a Smurf or something like that. You got to be like Big Blue.
No, but I'm going against the Commanders, which I was last week, right?
Yeah. So damn, I don't want to paint myself blue.
You could just rock a bunch of Giants gear. I know your wife probably has some, right?
Look at this. There you go.
Listen, my inkling in this is that the Commanders have no business being double-digit favorites or 9.5-point favorites for that matter. But I'm operating as like the double-digit favorite since I'm going with the 10 bet here. Some quick numbers for you, Howard, to consider. Maybe you'll reconsider this, okay?
Yeah. Of course, I live with a Giants fan, and I've watched all of these Giants games. But okay,
as bad as the Giants are, as bad as they are, with Tommy DeVito under center, again, the Commanders should not be favored this much. A couple stats here, though. Washington has not been a double-digit favorite since 2017. And they haven't covered as a double-digit favorite since 2005.
All right, but they're not a double-digit favorite. It's at 9.5.
Oh, that's why I said I'm going with the 10 because that's
right.
What I'm
but
going
you're going with the 10 because you're buying the half point. But Washington is not a double-digit favorite here anymore.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm going with the 10.
I know what you're going.
If they listen, but if I mean, I could get a push at 10, but if they're gonna, it's kind of the same logic, though. I mean, they're not gonna be.
Is it though?
If they cover the 9.5, that means they're gonna be probably covering 10 unless it's a push. But either way, 7 of the last 8 matchups in this series, NFC East division rivalry, 7 of the last 8 have been 1-score games. Okay, this is a closely fought battle, no matter how bad or how good each team is every year. And again, as bad as the Giants are, the Commanders aren't that much better. They aren't 10 points better. They aren't 9.5 points better, in my opinion. This is a game with a 37 over/under too. Like anytime I get a huge underdog in a low total like this, I am happy to grab it. Less than a month ago, the Giants beat Washington 14-7. Okay, like. Is it really going to flip totally in the other direction, even though this game is on the road for the Giants? I mean, Sam Howell in that game, he got sacked 6 times. He threw a pick, completed just 50% of his passes. The Giants defense, I think, is going to frustrate him enough. Keep this one close.
The Giants defense that just got shredded. That traded away Leonard Williams. That doesn't want to play. That doesn't want to win games at all.
They're going to get up for this one. They're going to get up for this one.
Well, for this one they will.
And you mentioned the Commanders. I mean, maybe they're looking a little ahead to that Cowboys matchup on Thanksgiving.
No, I don't think the Commanders are. I think the Commanders are like, oh shit, we could like steal a win here, and like
steal
then really
a 3-point win. How about
screw
that?
up Dallas. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Right. Randy Miller says starting the Commanders defense. Yep, I agree with that. Mulroyd's saying that Washington's now at -8.5.
It's going
is 12 on DK. Yeah, listen.
It's going down.
Dude, yeah. I love when the public is coming in on the Giants like that. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you, public. Thank you for proving my point for me right here, right now, this second. This moment. You can get it, Commanders at -8.5. Take that. I've got it. I put the bet down at -9.5, right? But -8.5 is definitely better. Either way, they're gonna cover that shit. The Giants are so bad.
No. We gotta get a bet here from our producer Sean. We'll see what the terms are, but I realize how bad the Giants are, but this is. They should not be this big of a favorite over the Commanders. Should not be a big of a favorite. I don't know.
Okay. All right. There you go.
All right. How about some player props? Because we each gave out some 3 of our game picks. And by the way, over on Fantasy Alarm, if you haven't already, get the All Pro subscription. There's tons of content out there as you get ready for Week 11. Whether you're doing fantasy, DFS. Season long, betting, all this stuff we got covered over on fantasyalarm.com. Go to fantasyalarm.com/let's-go. I think is the new promo code there. You can get the All Pro subscription and one-on-one expert access in the Discord. All the different features we got at Fantasy Alarm. Get on this now. All right, player props. Where are you going with one of your props this weekend?
All right, I'm gonna go to Brock Purdy. San Francisco hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay secondary is of the Succaneers. They've been shredded. Yeah, granted, Will Levis got the better of didn't do anything against them last week, but the 4 weeks before that, the Bucs secondary has just been beaten, battered, and bruised. So. Give me Brock Purdy with all of his weapons. Debo's back. Ayuk is great and healthy. Kittle is healthy. Like all of these weapons are in there. You don't like to try and run against Tampa Bay. They've got a strong run defense, whether it's in the middle against Vita Vea or whether you're trying to take it to the outside. And then their corners pinch in and have the speed to catch McCaffrey. Coming in. Now, listen, I think McCaffrey will be totally fine, but I like Brock Purdy here, slinging the rock a little bit more. He has gone over this number in, I think, 3 out of his last 4 games. So 258.5 passing yards, Brock Purdy.
By the way, the Steelers anytime touchdown odds on BetMGM plus 1,200 if you want to go that route.
Nice.
Little Mulroy there. Mulroy, jump on it.
Mulroy.
All right, how about I'm going with Justin Fields over 48.5 rushing yards. He's back from his thumb injury, which I think is going to be huge for him. Just using his legs more. And maybe he's a little limited from the thumb injury. But I think either way, I expect him to come, out of the gate running. Before he got hurt, he started running more, more design runs that the Bears were drawing up for him. He had 57 and 46 rushing yards in his past 2 games before he got hurt. And as I mentioned, more design runs, more rushing attempts for him than early in the year where he was kind of barely running in the first few games. And he now has 45 plus rushing yards in 4 of 6 games this season and 16 of 19 going back to last year. So he's been right in this range to 48.5, pretty much, for the past 2 years now. So I think he's going to be right there again. 2 games against the Lions last year, he went for 147 and 132 rushing yards in those 2 games. So, expect the Bears to be trailing a little bit more, but I think that could lead to Fields, scrambling, trying to make more plays with his legs.
I dig it, man. I dig it. I hope he gets it. I just want, you know what? I just want to see Justin Fields be back to being Justin Fields. Like, I want to see the
Oh yeah.
development of this kid and really make it happen.
Well,
So,
and now like because with the Bears record, they have what 2 picks in like the top 5 of the NFL
oh yeah,
draft.
you're going to be able to draft him weapons or
Well,
game
no,
changing.
I was gonna say is he has motivation to like really ball out to end this regular season because the Bears could easily just draft Caleb Williams and trade Fields if they really want to do that, or draft
Yeah.
another quarterback. I mean, he's got pressure on him to really show out here.
The Bears are probably not going to be able to get a pick high enough with the way that the Patriots and the Giants and
I mean, they gotta get those 2 picks. If they really wanted, Caleb Williams or someone else, they could easily package, something.
True. I'm going to stay with the quarterbacks here, and I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm getting it for the plus 100 at BetMGM. I'm taking a little step out, thinking and believing that that Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars do not suck as badly as they look. I believe in this team. I believed in this team last year, and I thought that they would get better here having Calvin Ridley. And so I look at this game against Tennessee, and you pass on Tennessee, you don't run on Tennessee, and maybe that kind of takes away, all these Travis Etienne touchdowns that we're seeing, and Trevor Lawrence keeps the ball in his hands and throws against Tennessee. Tennessee plays they're starting to play more zone than they are man coverage. So, and it's kind of funny, right? You look at it like Christian Kirk does well in man coverage. Calvin Ridley does better in zone coverage. So you could see both of these guys eat at various times in this game. We are seeing more zone coverage from Tennessee lately just because of their personnel injuries, that they're dealing with in the secondary. But overall, I think that this is a game where Trevor Lawrence can find the end zone twice with his receiver. So there it is.
Yeah, I almost threw out a Calvin Ridley prop here because I think he can bounce back. I mean, he's been kind of underwhelming this year. Only a couple games where he's been good, but I do think him and Trevor Lawrence could get back on it this week. Also thought about the Jaguars against the spread, but didn't ultimately go there. But I like your Lawrence pick here. I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid over 4.5 receptions. It's juiced to, it's minus 160 on BetMGM, but I'm fine with it. I don't care because he's had 5+ receptions now in 4 straight games since Dawson Knox got hurt. He's the clear second guy in this Bills offense behind Diggs. This matchup against the Jets, you'd think it's tough because it's, Jets really good secondary, strong against the pass, but I think we're going to see a lot of Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed on Diggs and Gabe Davis on the outsides. I think Kincaid's going to get a lot of targets here. He's going to be, kind of the check down guy for, and probably the number one option on some downs for Josh Allen. And the OC change now with Joe Brady, now the offensive coordinator for the Bills after they fired their guy. I think it's just going to be more emphasis on the pass more, just using Kincaid more as a slot receiver because of how good he's been. Like, I think they have to realize what they have here. And outside of Diggs, Kincaid is the guy. So I think now it's crunch time with the coordinator change that they have to realize they have to give Kincaid the ball as much as possible. Not overdo it, but, in the right spots. He's a true weapon here. So, yeah, over the 4.5 receptions.
Over 4.5. I can dig that, man. I can definitely dig that. I love Dalton Kincaid. I do. Even against the Jets. I've got only one more because I saved a little something special for the touchdown call, Servo. I think I did something that I think you're gonna love. So I only got one more prop bet, and that's Sammy Laporta over 4.5 receptions. I see your Dalton Kincaid, sir, and I raise you one Sam Laporta. Chicago Bears, they rank like 26th in DVOA against the tight end position, giving up an average. There's like an average of like 8.6 targets per game to the tight end. And so, listen, I just think that, the middle of the field is going to be open, and Sammy Laporta over 4.5 receptions. It's -120 at Bet MGM.
We're both going with some rookie tight ends here and to get over 4.5 receptions.
This is the year of the rookie tight end, dude. Travis Kelce's up and down. George Kittle is up and down. Darren Waller is on IR. Hawkinson has been the most productive tight end so far. So, you look at like Kincaid and Laporta, these rookie tight ends are really standing out this year much more. Remember when everybody was sitting there in fantasy being like, rookie tight ends never work. Never draft them. Who's laughing now?
Yeah. There's a reason these guys were drafted where they were in the NFL draft, because they are legit.
Iowa, right? The tight end factory.
Oh, yeah. All right. How about I'm going to go with – I just got two more. Derrick Henry over 56.5 rushing yards, -115 on BetMGM. In that game against Trevor Lawrence on the other side of it. And I just, this year, Derrick Henry has not been good, okay? He's not gone over this a lot, but this is a line that's way too low. In his career against the Jaguars, he's crushed them. I mean, totals of over 100 yards more often than not, going back to the last 4 years facing the Jaguars. And I just think that you look at his track record against division rivals in the AFC South too, and he's going for 100 plus more often than not. He just kind of one of those situations where Vrabel looks to just feed him in these division games and lean on him, and especially here now with their quarterback situation for Tennessee. So this line is just too low, 56.5, because he has gone over it more often than not in recent games too, now that he's getting some more work. So, and it's, I think, come to fruition because of the Will Levis under center, and they need Henry to show out, especially in this division game. So yeah, give me the over on Derrick Henry's rushing yards here. And then my last one, tackle monster in that Giants Commanders game. Bobby Okereke over 9.5 tackles and assists. He is the guy, coming into, when it comes to tackles for the Giants. 91 total through 10 games this year, averaging 9.1 per game there. 10 plus tackles for him in 5 of the last 7 games, including 11 against the Commanders last month when they played. And Washington has allowed an inside linebacker to have 10 plus tackles against them in 6 of their last 7 games. So I think Bobby gets it here to get double digits.
I was looking at that exact same one. So, Dolphins -13.5, Steelers Browns under 33. Bobby Okereke, however we want to do it, over 9.5 tackles. All those were definitely ones that I was looking for. So since you got into the into our show doc first, you get those. So, but I'm betting those as well, and those are likely going to sit. Those are likely going to sit in some of the best bets stuff over at Fantasy Alarm when I post that article on Saturday.
That makes me feel good right now because we're disagreeing on the Giants Commanders, but we can agree on some of these, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, man, it's totally cool if you want to be wrong about the Giants, man. I totally
okay.
I totally get it.
All right, let's get to some touchdown predictions for NFL Week 11. We'll see if we can hit on some of these. So let's get to our touchdowns. All right.
My new favorite song.
All right, touchdown calls. I'll go first because I know you got a little juicy one cooked up here. I mentioned it earlier when we were talking some Texans. Give me Tank Dell anytime touchdown here. Plus 150 over on Caesars. He scored last week. He scored twice the week before. Noah Brown out now this week for the Texans. I know Nico Collins is back, but I think Tank Dell's usage in the red zone, his target share overall, his big playability anytime he touches the ball is only just going to increase now in this Texans offense. And to targeting this bottom tier Cardinals defense as well, who've allowed 15 passing touchdowns in 10 games this year. So I think Tank Dell is a top candidate from Houston to get in the end zone. We might see multiple receivers from Houston score this week, but give me Tank Dell at least.
Yeah, I like the Dell call. Listen, I think the best thing that could have ever happened to bettors and to fantasy people is Noah Brown unlikely to play, because everybody was jumping in on him and without realizing that 2 weeks ago Robert Woods was out. Last week it was Nico Collins who was out. Now that you've got Collins back, Woods back, and Tank Dell, Noah Brown's like, he's not going to see the same snaps, but yet everybody was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. Now you're point chasing there. All right, here we go, Servo.
What you got?
Are you ready? Or
I'm ready.
Do you want to say? I like Sean's little bet that he just posted.
Let's throw this out there because I'm in for this.
I like this one.
Okay, so me and Howard are disagreeing on opposite sides of this Giants Commanders spread. Again, we got a half-point difference here, so I don't know how we want to work this. Because
you get the Giants plus 10. I get the Commanders minus 9.5. It's exactly as we did it with Seattle and Washington last week, because I had it at 6.5 and you had it at 7. You remember?
But I'm just wondering about there's a way that you can win and I tie, like I push, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
if
it pushes
a 10-point win. If it pushes a loss, okay, whatever. All right.
For this bet here, I think a push should be a loss.
Fine. All right. So if I win, if the Giants cover that 10-point spread or 9.5-point spread, then you, Howard, have to eat a blueberry pie on air. The blue covered for the Giants. So that's if I win. If you win, Commanders cover that spread. I have to eat a cherry pie, red color on the air next week. Pretty good.
I mean, it's not. I think we're all winners in this one here because oh no, a blueberry pie, that would just be terrible. So
I don't think I've ever had a cherry pie. I've had blueberry, obviously, but
quite delicious.
Cherry pie is good. Okay. All right, so we'll do that.
All right, so we're in the Thanksgiving spirit. That's what it is. Good job, Sean. Well done. Well done.
Stuff our faces on air. What's better entertainment? All right, give us your little touchdown juice.
All right, here we go. We're gonna do a touchdown parlay this week, ladies and gentlemen. Austin Eckler at minus 150 against the Green Bay Packers for an anytime touchdown. Brian Robinson at minus 140, anytime touchdown against the New York Football Giants. James Conner at minus 140 to score an anytime touchdown against the Houston Texans. So targeting the Texans run D, the Giants run D, and the Packers run D. 3 of the worst run defenses in the league. I think the Texans or the Packers have given up the fewest rushing touchdowns at 9, but sorry, that's Austin Eckler. He's double threat, man. I will take that. Parlay those up plus 389 on BetMGM. You know what? I mean, listen, it's not like crazy world-beating odds, but you know what? You hit plus 389 with a unit, boom. I like it.
There you go.
I'm in there.
Yeah, I listen, as much, even though I am on the Giants side of things, I like the Brian Robinson call there because he scored when they faced the Giants last month, and I've targeted against the Giants rush defense all year long with these anytime touchdowns. Last week, Tony Pollard did not get it done for me. Fell down on the 1-yard line, but that's all right. I think Brian Robinson can get in there. So a little juicy plus money touchdown parlay. Love that. All right, that's about it for us on this show. We'll see who wins this bet between me and Howard. Blueberry pie, cherry pie. You have to come back Monday to see who's going to be eating some pie. But also, hopefully, all of your own bets and picks and props win this weekend. Stop pointing at me, Howard. Get away from me.
Right in the eye. Yeah.
Mark Shadle, by the way, says, got to eat entire 9-inch pie, not just a piece. That's a lot of pie on the air.
Dude, I'll do it. I don't care. Right? What were you thinking? You were going to go to 7-Eleven and get one of those Hostess cherry pies? Is that what you were thinking?
I did not think it through, honestly.
See?
But
Well,
a full
I see.
pie is a lot of pie to eat.
I'm
right
a
away.
pie connoisseur, my friend. You got to think these through. I mean, are we talking like little baby personal pies? Are we talking a big 9-incher? Are we talking about like just go to the 7-Eleven, go to Hostess Pie and eat all that sugar?
I think anything that qualifies as a pie.
Anything that qualifies as a pie, 100%. Does not matter. It has to just qualify as a pie.
Yeah, there you go.
Crust, filling.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's the bet. We'll see you guys on Monday. Hopefully you have a very fruitful weekend. And coming up after us, by the way, we have the NBA DFS show with John and Pemba and James Grande tonight. But going on all weekend, check out Fantasy Arm YouTube, Bettor Sports Network YouTube, and come back Monday. We'll see you guys then. See if we catch some of these bets. And good luck and take care.